Chapter 1. Getting a driver's license. Chapter 1 explains the legal steps every Louisiana resident must take before driving on public roads. Master these basics now so the rest of the manual, road rules, signs, and safe driving skills builds on a solid licensing foundation. Who must have a driver's license? All Louisiana residents who operate a motor vehicle on public streets must hold a valid state driver's license. New residents must exchange their out-of-state license within 30 days of establishing residency. Exceptions apply to certain non-residents, students, farmers using implements, and military personnel driving official vehicles. Classes of license. Louisiana issues Class A, B, and C commercial licenses for large trucks, hazardous materials, and passenger vehicles. Class D covers medium-weight commercial vehicles, 10,001 to 26,000 pounds, and may transport passengers for hire if not otherwise classified. Class E is the standard license for cars, light trucks, and recreational vehicles under 10,001 pounds. A temporary instruction permit, TIP, is required before any driver education or road skills instruction. Identification requirements. All licenses and ID cards must be issued in the applicant's full legal name using original or certified documents, no photocopies. First-time applicants present either 2 primary documents or 1 primary plus 2 secondary documents, e.g., birth certificate, passport, social security card. Minors need custodial parent signatures and custody papers when applicable, and joint custody cases require the domiciliary parent's consent. New residents who surrender an out-of-state picture license must still meet Louisiana ID and Social Security verification rules. Graduated Licensing Program. Known as the RYN Act, Louisiana's 3-stage program reduces teen crashes through phased privileges. Stage 1, a learner's permit at age 15 after 30 hours classroom and 8 hours behind the wheel. Permit must be held 180 days. Stage 2, an intermediate license at 16 requiring a road skills test and nighttime/passenger restrictions until age 17. Stage 3, a full license at 17 or older, or for adults completing an approved 38-hour driver education or 6-hour pre-licensing plus 8-hour by-the-way course. Driver's license tests. All first-time applicants must pass vision, knowledge, and road skills tests administered by OMV staff or certified third-party testers. A temporary instruction permit is mandatory before any classroom, knowledge, or road skills testing can begin. Vision test. Applicants must meet a minimum 20/40ths visual acuity. Failing results in referral to an eye care specialist and possible corrective lens restriction, 1 foot. Laser surgery patients may have the lens restriction removed upon passing the screening without correction. Knowledge test. An 80% score on multiple-choice questions covering signs, signals, and Louisiana traffic law is required. The exam is computer-based in most offices. Numeric facts such as stopping distances often appear, so study details carefully. Road skills driving test. Conducted either by OMV or a certified third-party examiner, the test grades backing, lane use, signaling, observation, and compliance with traffic law. Applicants provide a safe, properly registered, and insured vehicle. Third-party testers may supply one for a fee. Automatic failure results from violations such as dangerous actions, collisions, or refusal to follow directions. License renewals. Standard Class D and E licenses expire every 6 years on the holder's birthday and require a vision screening for renewal. Military personnel receive a 60-day grace period after discharge if the license was valid upon entry into service. Renewal by mail or internet. Eligible Class D or E drivers under 70 may be invited to renew remotely once every 12 years. The OMV mails the reconstructed license to the recipient's address. 2 consecutive mail-in renewals are not permitted. Change of address. State law mandates updating the license address within 10 days of any move. Failure may result in a citation if stopped by law enforcement. Change of name. Drivers must present a certified marriage license, court order, or birth certificate reflecting the new name. A duplicate license fee applies for mid-cycle changes. Duplicate license. Lost, stolen, or damaged licenses are replaced only in person with proper ID. Minors need the custodial parent's signed permission. License restrictions. OMV or the courts may impose restrictions, for example, corrective lenses, time-of-day limits, or adaptive equipment, and violating them can suspend privileges. Medical reports required. First-time applicants over 60 or with physical impairments must file physician or vision specialist reports on OMV forms. OMV may request updates at any time. Your driving record. The OMV retains public records of all traffic convictions and collisions for 5 years and DWI convictions for 10 years, including out-of-state violations. Personal identification cards. Any resident may obtain a photo ID for non-driving purposes. Applicants meet the same ID proof standards, but no testing is required. Persons not eligible for a license. OMV denies licenses to individuals whose privileges are revoked, who fail required courses or exams, or who are under age 15. Organ donation. At application or renewal, drivers may register as organ, eye, and tissue donors. The red heart symbol appears on the license, and the wish is legally binding. One donor can save up to 9 lives and heal many more through tissue donation. Voter Registration Program. Under the National Voter Registration Act, qualified applicants may register to vote during any OMV transaction or by submitting an OMV mail-in form. Electronic submissions are sent directly to the Secretary of State. Applicants should receive confirmation within 2 weeks. Chapter 1 Summary. Before you ever start the engine, Louisiana law asks you to prove your identity, vision, knowledge, and behind-the-wheel skill. Chapter 2 Highway Transportation System. Chapter 2 introduces Louisiana's Highway Transportation System, HTS, and explains how people, vehicles, and roadways interact under a shared set of rules. Understanding this big-picture framework helps you predict traffic flow and make safer choices mile after mile. Components of the HTS. The Highway Transportation System combines roadway users, motor vehicles, and the physical road network into one coordinated system. Each component depends on the others. Safe users, roadworthy vehicles, and well-designed roads create smooth, predictable traffic. Federal, state, and local agencies share responsibility for building, inspecting, and regulating every piece of the system. Roadway users. Drivers, passengers, pedestrians, bicyclists, and motorcyclists all qualify as roadway users with equal rights to safe passage. Human choices, speed, attention, impairment, cause the vast majority of crashes, so education and enforcement focus heavily on user behavior. Young and older drivers require extra caution. Both age groups experience higher crash rates because of limited experience or slower reflexes. Vehicles in the system. Louisiana roads carry everything from bicycles and compact cars to 40-ton tractor-trailers and oversized farm equipment. Vehicle size, weight, and braking distances vary widely, making speed management and space cushions critical for collision avoidance. Regular maintenance, brakes, tires, lights, ensures each vehicle meets state safety standards and performs as expected in traffic. Roadway types and features. The HTS includes city streets, rural two-lane highways, multi-lane interstates, and special-use lanes such as HOV or bike paths. Engineers design lane width, shoulder strength, sight distance, and banking angles to match expected speeds and traffic volume. Work zones, school zones, and railroad crossings introduce special controls that temporarily override general roadway rules. Traffic control devices. Signs, signals, and pavement markings communicate laws and warnings instantly to every road user regardless of language. Electronic message boards add real-time updates on congestion, crashes, and weather hazards to keep the system moving. Obeying these controls is not optional. Violations disrupt traffic flow and increase crash risk for everyone nearby. Shared responsibility for safety. Law enforcement officers, highway engineers, and everyday drivers each play a role in reducing crashes and congestion. Funding for enforcement and road improvements comes from fuel taxes, registration fees, and traffic citations. When one piece fails, distracted driver, bald tire, missing guardrail, the entire HTS absorbs the consequences through injuries, delays, and costs. Chapter 2 Summary. A well-tuned highway transportation system relies on informed drivers who respect the limits of vehicles and roads alike. Keep this system's view in mind as you study upcoming chapters on specific signs, signals, and defensive driving strategies. Chapter 3 Signs, Traffic Lights, and Pavement Markings. Chapter 3 teaches the visual language of Louisiana roads, sign shapes, signal lights, and pavement markings that guide every safe maneuver. Learn these cues now so you can read the roadway instantly and react faster than any GPS command. Sign shapes and colors. A sign's shape and background color announce its category before you can read a word. Octagon always means stop, triangle means yield, diamond warns of hazards, and rectangles regulate or guide. Red conveys prohibitions, yellow cautions, green directions, blue services, brown recreation, and orange work zones. Memorizing this code lets you respond correctly even when fog, dirt, or glare obscures lettering. Regulatory signs. White rectangles state legal requirements like speed limits, lane use, and parking restrictions. Violations trigger citations and points. Do not enter, and wrong way guard freeway off-ramps and one-way streets. Ignoring them leads to deadly head-on collisions. Stop and yield signs assign right-of-way at interchapters, forming the backbone of predictable traffic flow. Warning and work zone signs. Yellow diamonds alert drivers to curves, hills, merges, animal crossings, and other roadway conditions needing reduced speed or extra caution. Orange replaces yellow where workers or equipment are present. Fines double for violations in these zones. Chevron and advisory speed plaques provide additional guidance through sharp bends. Guide, service, and recreation signs. Green guide signs list destinations, exit numbers, and mileage, helping you track progress on highways. Blue panels highlight facilities such as gas, food, lodging, hospitals, and electric vehicle charging points. Brown signs steer travelers toward state parks, historic sites, and scenic byways. Route markers and reference posts. Interstate shields, U.S. highway shields, and Louisiana Pelican outline markers identify numbered routes and help navigation apps match reality. Small green reference markers every mile let emergency responders locate incidents precisely when callers report the number and direction. Route markers may be accompanied by cardinal direction plaques to clarify travel orientation. Traffic signal basics. Steady red requires a complete stop. Right turn on red is allowed after yielding unless a sign forbids it. Steady yellow warns the light will soon turn red. Enter only if stopping safely is impossible. Steady green allows movement, but drivers must still yield to vehicles or pedestrians already in the interchapter. Arrow, flashing, and pedestrian signals. Green arrows grant protected turns, yellow arrows warn protection is ending, and red arrows prohibit movement in that direction. Flashing red equals a stop sign. Flashing yellow means proceed with caution. Flashing yellow arrows permit left turns after yielding. Pedestrian signals display walk or a walking person to start crossing. Flashing don't walk means finish quickly, do not begin. Lane use control and ramp meters. Overhead lane signals show green arrow for open lanes, red X for closed, and yellow X for impending closure, merge out promptly. Freeway ramp meters alternate red and green to pace vehicles onto congested interstates, reducing stop-and-go waves. Failure to obey these electronic devices carries the same penalties as ignoring traditional signals. Centerlines and no passing zones. A single broken yellow line divides opposing traffic and permits passing when clear, double solid yellow bars passing both ways. A solid line next to broken permits passing only on the broken line side. Yellow pennant signs and solid lines on the left mark the start of no passing zones near curves and hills. White lines and edge markings. Broken white lines separate lanes moving the same direction. Solid white lines discourage lane changes and often mark the right shoulder. Wide solid white stop lines show where to halt at signals or signs so pedestrians have space to cross ahead. Edge lines and raised rumble strips alert drowsy drivers drifting toward shoulders. Arrows, words, and HOV symbols. Painted arrows indicate required or optional turns, only clarifies exclusive lane use long before the interchapter. Diamond symbols designate high-occupancy vehicle or bus lanes, enter only when you meet posted requirements. Large bike symbols mark dedicated bicycle lanes. Motor vehicles may not drive or park there except to cross. Crosswalks, stop lines, and rail markings. Crosswalks use parallel white lines or ladder patterns and exist at every interchapter even when unmarked. Stop lines precede crosswalks and indicate where vehicles must halt for red lights or stop signs. White RXR and stop lines appear on pavement before railroad tracks as an extra alert to stop when signals activate. Chapter 3 Summary. Road signs, lights, and markings knit every driver's actions into a seamless flow. Learn them well and the road will talk to you in real time. Chapter 4. Basic driving and safety. Chapter 4 turns theory into action, covering everyday driving maneuvers and the safety habits that keep them mistake-free. Perfect these basics now so you can devote brain power to traffic conditions instead of vehicle control. Starting and moving off. With foot on brake, shift to drive, release parking brake, signal, and check mirrors plus over-shoulder blind spot before easing forward. Accelerate gently, rapid launches waste fuel, wear components, and surprise nearby traffic. When pulling from a curb, wait for a 2-second opening in the nearest lane before merging. Steering techniques. Hold the wheel at 9 and 3 and use push-pull, shuffle, steering for best airbag clearance and control. Use hand over hand only for tight, low-speed turns such as parking stalls. Look through the turn. The vehicle naturally follows your visual target. Speed management. Match posted limits, but also adjust for weather, traffic, and visibility. The basic speed law override signs. Begin slowing early for interchapters and stale green lights to signal intentions and save brake wear. Coast when possible. Smooth throttle and brake inputs conserve fuel and maintain passenger comfort. Following distance. Maintain at least a 3-second gap in ideal conditions. Double it at night or in rain. Count from the rear bumper of the vehicle ahead to a fixed object. If you arrive before 3, drop back. Extra space gives time to spot debris, sudden stops, or erratic drivers. Lane position and changes. Center your vehicle to leave equal space on both sides and avoid edge drop-offs. Before changing lanes, remember smog. Signal, mirror, over shoulder, go when clear. Cancel the signal after completing the maneuver to prevent misleading others. Turning and interchapters. Signal 100 feet before the turn, slow to safe entry speed, and scan left center right before committing. Right turns begin and end in the rightmost lane. Left turns finish in the lane just right of center unless arrows direct otherwise. When the light turns green, yield to vehicles still clearing and to pedestrians with the walk signal. Railroad crossings. Slow, look, and listen. Trains need a mile to stop, and always have right-of-way. Stop at least 15 feet from tracks when lights flash or gates lower. Proceed only when clear view exists both directions. Buses and hazmat trucks must always stop even without signals. Be prepared to slow behind them. Passing safely. Pass on the left only when the center line is broken and you have at least a 500 ft clear view ahead. Signal, mirror, blind spot check, accelerate smoothly, and do not return until both headlights of the passed vehicle appear in your mirror. Never exceed the speed limit by more than 10 miles per hour during the maneuver and complete the pass quickly. Backing and parking. Walk around the vehicle first. Children and obstacles hide behind bumpers. Back slowly, looking through the rear window, not mirrors, while covering the brake. For parallel parking, stop beside the car ahead, reverse while steering toward the curb, then straighten inside the space within 18 inches of the curb. Seat belts and child restraints. Louisiana law requires belts for every seat. Wearing them has fatal injury risk. Children under 13 ride in the rear. Proper car seat or booster use is based on age, weight, and height. Unbelted occupants become projectiles. Insist on belts before shifting out of park. Defensive driving mindset. Stay alert, scan constantly, and expect mistakes from others. Prepare escape paths on every block. Avoid distractions. Activate Do Not Disturb on phones and set GPS before departure. Courtesy diffuses aggression. Yield when in doubt and offer a quick thank you wave. Chapter 4 Summary. Smooth starts, solid space cushions, and constant scanning turn basic driving into lifelong crash prevention. Practice these fundamentals until they are automatic. Future chapters will layer on complex traffic scenarios with ease. Chapter 5. Safe Driving Habits. Chapter 5 gathers proven habits, vision, space, and courtesy that slash crash risk no matter what road, weather, or traffic throws at you. Lock these practices into muscle memory now and watch tickets, tension, and repair bills fade from your driving life. Defensive driving mindset. Scan 1.15 seconds ahead and use mirrors every 5-8 seconds to maintain an up-to-date 360-degree traffic picture. Assume other road users may make mistakes. Plan an escape route on both sides at all times. Courtesy beats confrontation. Yield when in doubt and diffuse aggression with space, not gestures. Managing speed wisely. Follow the basic speed law. Drive only as fast as conditions safely allow, even below the posted limit. Smooth acceleration and gradual braking conserve fuel and keep traction steady on curves or slick roads. Lower speed instantly expands time to spot hazards and halves crash energy with each 10 miles per hour reduction. Following distance rule. Use a 3-second gap in daylight and fair weather, double to 6 seconds in rain, fog, or at night. If a tailgater crowds you, ease off the gas to widen space ahead. Never brake check. Large trucks and motorcycles need extra separation. Their stopping and stability traits differ from cars. Scanning and blind spot checks. Before any lateral move, remember smog. Signal, mirror, over shoulder, go when clear. Adjust side mirrors so your own car barely disappears from view. This shrinks blind areas. Quick glances, not prolonged stares. Keep forward vision active while confirming side safety. Interchapter safety. Approach on a covering brake, skin left center right, then left again, before entering on green. Commit confidently once clear. Hesitation confuses other drivers and lengthens exposure time. Yield to pedestrians and bicyclists, even on your green when they have a walk indication. Sharing the road with large vehicles. Avoid truck no-zone blind spots. If you cannot see the driver's mirrors, they cannot see you. Give semis a full lane when passing and do not cut back until both headlights appear in your mirror. Expect wide right turns. Stop lines and crosswalks exist to provide the swing space rigs require. Work zone awareness. Orange signs mean lane shifts, flaggers, or sudden stops. Slow to posted limits before entering. Merge early in zipper fashion to keep traffic flowing. Last-second merges breed crashes and anger. Fines double for speeding or handheld phone use when workers and equipment are present. Night driving adjustments. Switch to low beams within 500 feet of oncoming traffic and 200 feet when following vehicles. Dim dashboard lighting and clean windows inside and out to reduce glare and ghost reflections. Increase following distance so you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. Adverse weather techniques. First rain lifts oil, cut speed 10 miles per hour and avoid abrupt maneuvers for the first half hour. In fog, use low beams, slow until stopping distance matches visible distance, and be ready to pull off if visibility vanishes. Snow and ice demand featherlight controls, accelerate, steer, and brake gently to keep tire grip. Drowsy driving prevention. Being awake 18 hours equates to about 0.05 BAC impairment. Micro-sleeps last 3-5 seconds at any speed. Plan breaks every 2 hours, share driving duties, and avoid heavy meals before long trips. If you feel eyelids droop or miss a road sign, pull off and rest. Coffee buys minutes, not miles. Distraction management. Activate phone do not disturb mode. Louisiana bans hands-on texting and handheld use in school zones. Program GPS and playlists before departure. Assign a passenger co-pilot duties when possible. Eating, grooming, or reaching for fallen items steals eyes and brain power exactly when seconds count. Seat belts and child restraints. Wear belts low across hips and high across chest. Never tuck under arm or behind back. Secure children per age, weight, and height. Rear-facing seats, then forward-facing seats, then boosters until belt fits. Unbelted occupants become projectiles. Insist everyone buckles before shifting from park. Impaired driving avoidance. Designate a sober driver or arrange a ride before alcohol or medication that impairs leaves you stranded. Louisiana's legal limit is 0.08 BAC for adults, 0.02 for drivers under 21, and 0.04 for commercial license holders. Even one drink slows reaction. Safest number is 0 when your name is on the insurance policy. Emergency readiness. Keep an escape path by staggering position, not directly beside other vehicles, whenever possible. Scan roadside for wide shoulders, exit ramps, or turnouts where sudden mechanical issues can be handled safely. Carry an emergency kit, reflective triangles, high-visibility vest, jumper cables, first aid supplies, and flashlight. Chapter 5 Summary. Safe driving habits are choices, not luck. Choose vision, space, and courtesy every mile, and crashes will stay statistics, not memories. Chapter 6. Traffic Laws and Regulations. Chapter 6 lays out the Louisiana traffic laws and regulations that define safe, predictable driving and keep our highways moving. Know these rules cold. Ignorance is no defense when citations, points, or license suspensions are on the line. Basic speed law and posted limits. Drive no faster than conditions safely allow, even below the sign. Fog, rain, or congestion override posted numbers. Default limits. 25 miles per hour in residential areas, 55 miles per hour on two-lane highways, 65 to 75 miles per hour on interstates where signed. Exceeding the limit by 25 miles per hour or reckless speed can result in mandatory court appearance and 15-day license suspension. Right-of-way rules. Yield to pedestrians in crosswalks, traffic already in interchapters, and emergency vehicles with lights or siren. At four-way stops, the first vehicle to arrive goes first. Ties yield to the driver on the right. Left turns must yield to oncoming traffic and cyclists traveling straight through the junction. Passing and no passing zones. Pass on the left only when the center line is broken and you can see at least 500 feet ahead free of oncoming traffic. No passing within 100 feet of interchapters, bridges, tunnels, or railroad crossings, even with broken lines. On multi-lane roads, slower traffic keeps right. Passing on the right is legal only when multiple lanes move in your direction. School bus and emergency vehicles. Stop at least 30 feet from a bus flashing red lights on undivided roads. Remain stopped until lights stop and the stop arm folds. On divided highways, traffic opposing the bus need not stop, but proceed with caution. Move over law. Change lanes away from stopped emergency or service vehicles or slow to 20 miles per hour below the limit. Seatbelt and child restraint statute. Louisiana is a primary enforcement state. Officers may stop you solely for a belt violation. Children under 13 ride in rear seats. Restraint type depends on age, weight, and height per RS 32:295. Unbelted occupants can net a $50 first offense fine plus court costs and add points to your record. Driving under the influence, DWI. Per SE limit is 0.08 BAC for adults, 0.02 for drivers under 21, 0.04 for commercial license holders. First DWI, up to $1,000 fine, 48 hours jail, may convert, and 90-day license suspension. Refusing a chemical test triggers immediate 1-year suspension under implied consent law. Driver point system and suspensions. Traffic convictions carry 1 to 6 points. 12 points in 12 months triggers suspension. Length increases with total. Points drop from record after 12 months of violation-free driving. Defensive driving courses may remove up to 3. Certain violations, DWI, reckless driving, cause automatic suspension regardless of point total. Parking regulations. Illegal to park within 15 feet of a fire hydrant, 20 feet of a crosswalk, 30 feet of a stop sign, or 50 feet of tracks. Never double park or stop in travel lanes except for emergencies directed by police. Curb wheels toward the curb when downhill and away when uphill with a curb to prevent rollaways. Insurance and crash responsibility. State law requires minimum liability coverage, 15/30/25, $15,000 bodily injury per person, $30,000 per crash, $25,000 property. Proof of insurance must be shown at traffic stops or crashes. Electronic formats are acceptable. Failure to maintain insurance can lead to immediate plate seizure and reinstatement fees up to $1,000. Special restrictions and enforcement zones. Hands-free statute bans handheld phone use in active school zones and for learners/intermediate licensees at all times. Work zone speeding fines double when workers or equipment are present. Move it, crash it, law requires moving minor, no injury crashes off travel lanes to reduce congestion. Chapter 6 Summary. Traffic laws turn shared pavement into an orderly system. Learn them, respect them, and you'll avoid fines, points, and heartbreak. Chapter 7. Interstate driving and rural roads. Chapter 7 blends lessons from high-speed interstates with the unique hazards of Louisiana's rural roads. Master these techniques to handle merging traffic, long sight lines, blind curves, and unexpected farm equipment with equal confidence. Entering the interstate. Accelerate along the ramp to match freeway speed. Stopping at the merge point causes rear-end crashes. Signal left, check mirrors, glance over shoulder, and merge into the nearest lane only when a 2-second gap appears. Yield sign on the ramp requires a full stop only if no safe opening forms. Lane discipline and speed. Keep right except to pass. Lingering in the left lane blocks faster traffic and sparks road rage. Maintain a steady speed near the limit. Speed variance forces others to brake and weave. Center your vehicle within lane markers. Drift toward stripes startles neighbors and narrows escape room. Following distance at highway speed. Use a minimum 3-second gap in daylight. Expand to 5 seconds in rain or behind semis. At 70 miles per hour, you cover a football field every 3 seconds. Space is your best insurance. If tailgate, ease off the gas and change lanes right when safe. Never tap brakes to teach a lesson. Exiting the interstate. Signal early, move into the deceleration lane, and maintain freeway speed until fully on the ramp. Brake smoothly to the posted ramp limit. Hard braking on the main line surprises following drivers. Missed your exit? Continue to the next. Never stop or reverse on the shoulder. Rural road characteristics. 2-lane highways often lack shoulders and have hidden driveways, slow to posted advisories in curves and hills. Limited lighting at night means overdriving headlights is common. Reduce speed so stopping distance fits headlight reach. Watch for uneven pavement edges that can pull tires offline. Recover by straddling drop-off until speed falls. Curves, hills, and sight distance. Slow before the curve, then accelerate gently through the apex to maintain traction and lane position. Sound horn briefly on tight rural curves to warn unseen oncoming traffic. Cresting hills hide slow vehicles or animals. Lift off the throttle and be ready to brake. Passing on 2-lane roads. Pass only when the center line is broken, sight distance exceeds 500 feet, and no driveways or side roads intervene. Signal, mirror, blind spot check, accelerate quickly, and return only when both headlights of the overtaken vehicle appear in your mirror. Never pass within 100 feet of interchapters, railroad tracks, bridges, or on hills and curves. Farm equipment and slow vehicles. Orange triangular emblems warn vehicles traveling under 25 miles per hour. Reduce speed early to avoid rear-end collisions. Expect wide left turns into unmarked field drives. Watch for hand signals from operators. Pass only when clear and legal. Large equipment may straddle the center line to avoid ditch drop-offs. Wildlife and night rural driving. Deer are most active at dawn and dusk. Scan road edges and use high beams when no traffic approaches. If an animal appears, brake firmly. Do not swerve into oncoming lanes or soft shoulders. Clean headlights and windshield to maximize seeing distance. Dim interior lights to cut reflections. Unpaved and gravel roads. Loose gravel has traction. Slow 1015 mph below posted limits and steer gently to prevent fishtails. Increase following distance to avoid dust clouds that hide hazards and chip paint. Drive near center when clear to avoid washboard edges, but yield right when meeting oncoming traffic. Chapter 7 Summary. Whether you're merging at 70 miles per hour or dodging a tractor at 25 miles per hour, speed control, space, and sharp vision keep you safe. Practice these interstate and rural road habits until they're automatic. Louisiana's diverse landscapes will feel like home turf. Chapter 8. Driving hazards and emergencies. Chapter 8 prepares you for Louisiana's most challenging hazards, skids, blowouts, floods, and shows step-by-step how to respond when prevention fails. Rehearse these emergency moves now so adrenaline won't cloud judgment when seconds matter. Skids and traction loss. Rear wheel skid. Steer in the direction you want the nose to go and ease off pedals until tires grip again. Front wheel skid. Release accelerator. Keep wheels pointed where you want to travel and avoid hard braking. Electronic stability control helps, but cannot overcome excessive speed, slow before curves and slick spots. Hydroplaning. At about 50 miles per hour, tires can ride on a water film, steering feels light, and engine revs suddenly rise. Stay off brakes, hold wheel straight, and ease off the gas until traction returns. Prevent hydroplaning with correct tire pressure and tread depth of at least 4/32 inch. Tire blowout. Grip wheel firmly, keep straight, and ease off accelerator. Do not brake hard. Allow vehicle to slow below 30 miles per hour, signal right, and coast to a safe shoulder before braking lightly. Monthly tire inspections catch underinflation, cracks, and bald spots that cause most blowouts. Brake failure. Pump the brake pedal rapidly. Pressure often returns within 3 strokes. If no response, downshift to lower gears and apply parking brake gradually while holding release button. Aim for an open shoulder or soft ditch. Never turn off ignition, which locks steering. Engine overheating. Turn off AC, turn on heater full blast, and pull over safely. Never open radiator cap while hot. Steam or sweet coolant smell signals leak. Call roadside assistance if adding water is impossible. Carry pre-mixed coolant on long summer trips through remote areas. Vehicle fire. Signal, steer off roadway, turn off ignition, and evacuate everyone at least 100 feet upwind. Do not open hood fully, air feeds flames. Call 911 immediately. Prevent fires with routine checks of wiring insulation, fluid lines, and secure cargo. Off-road recovery. If right wheels drop onto shoulder, hold wheel straight, ease off gas, and straddle edge until speed falls below 20 miles per hour. Check traffic, signal left, and steer smoothly back onto pavement. Avoid jerking wheel. Braking hard on mixed surfaces can induce a spin. Control with light pedal pressure. Flooded roadways. Turn around. Just 6 inches of moving water can sweep a car away. If water rises inside, unbuckle, roll, or break a side window and climb onto the roof quickly. Never restart a stalled engine in water. Hydrolock destroys internal components. Railroad track emergencies. Stuck on tracks? Exit immediately and run toward the train at a 45 degrees angle to avoid debris. Call the blue ENS sign number posted at every crossing to alert rail dispatch and stop trains. Never stop on tracks. Ensure crossing is clear before you enter. Collision procedures. Stop immediately, move vehicles out of traffic if drivable, and activate hazard flashers. Check for injuries, call 911, and give exact location, number of people, and any hazards like leaks or fires. Exchange names, addresses, insurance, and take photos. Never admit fault at the scene. Chapter 8 Summary. Emergencies demand calm, rehearsed action. Use these steps to steer, brake, and communicate under pressure. Combine solid prevention with practiced response, and Louisiana's hazards will stay mere bumps in the journey. Chapter 9. Driving Offenses. Chapter 9 details Louisiana's most serious driving offenses, the ones that empty wallets, spike insurance, and can land you in jail. Learn these penalties now so you never cross the line from simple mistake to life-altering crime. Driving while intoxicated, DWI. Per SE limit is .08 BAC for adults, .02 for drivers under 21, and .04 for commercial licensees. First offense, up to $1,000 fine, 48 hours jail, can convert, and 90-day license suspension. Penalties escalate sharply for repeat DWIs. Refusing a chemical test under implied consent triggers an automatic 1-year suspension, longer for prior refusals. Reckless and aggressive driving. Reckless driving involves deliberate disregard for safety, speeding 25 miles per hour over limit, weaving, or street racing. First conviction, up to $200 fine, 90 days jail, and 2-year record points. Subsequent violations double penalties. Aggressive driving tickets bundle multiple behaviors, tailgating, unsafe lane changes, and may mandate court-ordered courses. Hit and run crashes. Leaving a scene with property damage is a misdemeanor. Injuries elevate the crime to felony status. Convictions carry up to $500 fine and 6 months jail for minor damage, or $5,000 and 10 years for injury or death. Always stop, render aid, and exchange information, even for mailbox or parked car strikes. Fleeing or eluding police. Ignoring an officer's signal adds felony charges on top of any underlying violation. Penalties, up to $5,000 fine and 5 years hard labor. Aggravated flight with bodily harm doubles maximum prison time. Strobe light impersonation is also illegal. Call 911 if unsure whether an unmarked vehicle is legitimate. Driving without insurance. Minimum 15/30/25 liability coverage is mandatory. First lapse costs $100, $500, reinstatement fee, and plate seizure. Subsequent violations within 3 years start at $500 and include vehicle impound or electronic immobilization. Crashes while uninsured expose drivers to full personal liability for all damages and injuries. License suspension and revocation offenses. Operating during suspension or revocation is a misdemeanor with up to $500 fine and 6-month jail term. Driving with a canceled license after medical disqualification or fraud carries felony potential on repeat offenses. Ignition interlock is mandatory for repeat DWI and some reckless driving reinstatements. Littering and road debris. Throwing trash from a vehicle fines $150,100 plus 8 hours community service. Second offense doubles both. Unsecured loads that spill onto the highway are treated as littering and can add civil cleanup costs. Keep vehicles clean. Cigarette butts, glass, and fast food bags all count as litter. Chapter 9 Summary. Every offense in this chapter is preventable. Choose sobriety, patience, insurance, and honesty to keep your freedom and finances intact. Chapter 10. General information for Class D chauffeur license. Chapter 10 explains Louisiana's Class D chauffeur license, required for medium-weight commercial vehicles used for hire. Understand these rules before you book passengers or haul cargo so paperwork, insurance, and safety inspections stay hassle-free. What is a Class D license? Authorizes operation of single vehicles 10,001 to 26,000 pounds GWR or buses seating up to 15 passengers, including driver, when used for hire. Does not permit driving tractor-trailers or hazmat. Those require CDL A, B, or endorsements. Most airport shuttles, box trucks, and small charter vans fall within the Class D weight window. Eligibility and age requirements. Applicants must hold a basic Class E license, be at least 17 years old, and possess a clean driving record. Any suspension, revocation, or disqualification must be cleared before OMV will issue a chauffeur credential. Commercial insurers may impose additional age or experience thresholds, even if OMV approves the license. Identification and medical standards. Present the same primary/secondary ID documents required for first-time licensing plus Social Security verification. A current DOT medical card is recommended for interstate work, but not mandatory for interstate Class D. Employers often require it regardless. Vision screening remains 20/40ths minimum, with corrective lens restriction, 1 foot, if applicable. Knowledge and skills testing. Chauffeur applicants must pass a 30-question knowledge exam on commercial regulations, weight limits, and passenger safety. No separate road test is needed if the applicant already holds a valid Class E, but OMV may request skills demonstration when violations exist. Testing starts only after securing a temporary instruction permit, tip, and paying applicable fees. Insurance and financial responsibility. Vehicles operated for hire must carry commercial liability coverage. Minimums exceed personal use limits, often $300,000 or more. Proof of insurance must list the vehicle's VIN and the company or driver as the named insured. Operators without proper coverage face immediate out-of-service orders and fines up to $1,000 per day. Hours of service and record-keeping. Interstate drivers transporting property may not exceed 12 hours driving after 16-hour duty window, with 10 consecutive hours off duty. Passenger-carrying chauffeurs follow stricter limits, no more than 10 hours behind the wheel after 8 hours rest. Drivers must keep daily time records or, for interstate trips, federal logbooks subject to roadside inspection. Vehicle inspection and maintenance. Daily pre-trip inspection covers brakes, tires, lights, mirrors, emergency equipment, and fluid leaks. Commercial vans and buses require annual FMCSA inspection stickers, even for interstate operations. Chauffeurs must report defects in writing. Operating an unsafe vehicle invites citations and out-of-service violations. License renewal and self-certification. Class D credentials expire every 6 years like Class E but require retaking the chauffeur knowledge test at each renewal. Drivers engaged in interstate commerce must self-certify medical status with OMV and keep the certificate on file. Failure to update medical or address changes within 30 days can suspend the chauffeur privilege until corrected. Chapter 10 Summary. A Class D chauffeur license bridges personal driving and full CDL. Treat it with the same professionalism. Stay current on testing, medical, insurance, and logbooks to keep clients safe and your livelihood secure. Chapter 11. Motor Vehicle Registration and Title. Chapter 11 walks you through Louisiana's motor vehicle registration and title process, from first purchase to plate renewal. Understand these steps so taxes, inspections, and paperwork never stall your wheels or cost-avoidable fines. Initial registration requirements. New residents have 30 days to register out-of-state vehicles. Louisiana dealers submit paperwork for in-state sales. Bring proof of ownership, MSO or signed title, current insurance, odometer disclosure, and paid sales tax receipt. Vehicles must pass safety inspection before plates are issued. Bring the inspection sticker receipt, if already complete. Vehicle titles. The title proves legal ownership. Sellers sign the assignment chapter and list odometer reading at transfer. Any lien holder information must be recorded. Titles with erasures or whiteout are rejected and require court order. Lost titles are replaced through OMV Form DP-SEMV 1799 and a $68.50 fee mailed to the recorded owner or lien holder. License plates and decals. Standard plates stay with the owner, not the vehicle. Remove plates when you sell or trade a car. Each plate receives an annual color-coded sticker showing the month and year of expiration. Specialty plates, veteran, collegiate, wildlife, carry additional fees but follow the same renewal cycle. Renewal and address changes. Registrations expire every 2 years for private vehicles. Renewal notices mail 30 days prior or opt for email. Owners may renew online, by mail, or at public tag agents after passing current inspection and maintaining insurance. Address changes must be reported within 10 days to avoid return notices and late fees. Transfers, donations, and junking. Buyers must pay title transfer fee and applicable taxes within 40 days or late penalties apply. Donating or selling to a recycler requires surrendering the title and plate. OMV issues a certificate of destruction. Gift transfers between qualifying relatives may exempt sales tax but still require notarized act of donation. Mandatory insurance verification. Proof of liability insurance, minimum 15/30/25, is required before OMV activates registration. The Louisiana Insurance Reporting System, LACAR, monitors coverage, lapses trigger plate cancellation and reinstatement fees. Electronic insurance identification cards are acceptable at OMV and during traffic stops. Chapter 11 Summary. Keeping titles clean, plates current, and insurance active protects your investment and keeps Louisiana roads accountable. Store these documents safely and update OMV promptly. Your future self will thank you at sale or renewal time.